Okay, we'd like to welcome everyone and call to order the
Okay.
special meeting of the West Valley City Council this August 19th, 2025. We're beginning our meeting at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers of West Valley City Hall. We have all members of the council present. We have Councilmember Wood, Councilmember Whetstone, Councilmember Harmon. We have Councilmember Hune, electronic, Councilmember Christensen, electronic, Councilmember Norfelt, and myself. We're joined at the dais with our city manager, Mr. Peely, and our city recorder, Ms. Kamick. I will turn the time to Councilmember Wood for our opening ceremony.
I'd just like to invite everyone to stand and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will now accept public comment. Comment period is limited to 30 minutes. Any person wishing to comment shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. Any person wishing to comment during the comment period shall request recognition by the mayor. Upon recognition, the citizen shall approach the microphone. All comments shall be directed to the mayor. No person addressing the city council during the comment period shall be allowed to comment more than once. Comments shall be limited to city business and matters within the purview of the city council. Speakers should not expect any debate with the mayor, city council, or city staff. The mayor, city council, and city staff may respond after the comment period has concluded. Speakers shall refrain from personal attacks against fellow citizens, city staff, and members of the city council. If you are here tonight to speak on the adoption of the final budget, we have a separate public hearing for that matter, and it would be best to hold your comments until that time. So we'll start with speaker one.
Hello, I've never done this before. I'm Donna Martin and I live in West Valley City. I live in a small condo complex. It has a lot of disrepair. It's so bad that our fence, 2/3 of our fence had to be taken down because it was falling down. And we're trying to budget to replace that. I work full-time and I'm 78 years old. And I work full-time because my Social Security won't keep the roof over my head and food on my table. And then to be hit with this increase of 62% on my property tax for where I live is overwhelming and amazing. I looked on the internet at some of the local real estate companies with estimates of my property value, and they are all lower than what you indicate on this bill. I know I was supposed to maybe go online and fill out something, but I stare at a computer 10 to like 9 hours a day. And when I'm done, I'm done. So I'm just here to tell you and give you a face. This is one of the people that you're affecting with this huge increase on property tax, because it's not only going to affect us when we have to pay the bill this time, it's going to continue to affect us going forward. And I know there are people in my community that, like me, this is a hardship, a huge hardship. So would, really like you to ask to consider not increasing our property tax by such a high amount. But like this says, my property is valued at $309,200. But on the Zillow, it was only $294. Trulia, $297. Realtor.com, $303. So that averages out to $298. And that's quite a bit lower than what $309 you have my value at. And the last place that sold at my property was a few months ago, 1,200 square foot, bigger than mine, with recent refurbishing and improvements, and they didn't even get $300,000 for it. So our properties are not this valuable. and would, you know, I'm asking for myself as well as my neighbors, please reconsider this amount of property increase taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker two? Are you here for the other one?
Forgive my ignorance. I haven't been.
You're just fine.
In pile with city managers, so I'm sitting in ignorance. Forgive me.
Okay,
I want to make a comment on where I think my taxes are going.
okay, so we'll have that on the next public hearing,
That's okay.
okay?
I saw August 19th, so.
I mean, no, in the next item on the agenda.
Oh, and then I can comment.
Yeah, you're fine.
Got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
speaker three?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Once again, I'm gonna bring up code enforcement and the selective enforcement. I have proof, as you know me, I'm always gonna go looking for it, that they are selectively enforcing and not enforcing. A standard operating procedure needs to be adopted, set, and this running around, oh, we're doing a little bit, we're doing a little bit, we're doing a little bit. Well, for over 5 years, I've been asking, Mr. Markham's been asking, and we still have a lot of the same issues. We don't have resistance from the top anymore like we've had. The other thing is, this Saturday, I know there's lots of block parties, but the original Northeast Granger, the first My Hometown area, is having their fall festival. It's usually an event that's attended by over 2,000 people in the neighborhood. It is one of the biggest, and it is the original My Hometown. I invite you all to come out. There'll be hot dogs, and usually there's foods from other countries, and it will be a great event. And if you haven't seen the video that our youth council put together, it's one of the cutest things, and I can send it to you if you haven't seen it. So that's all I have for this part.
Okay, thank you. I'll now turn it to the council if there's any comments. Seeing none, did you want to speak?
We can address the.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. All right, we'll now go to our public hearings. And we only have one item of business tonight to consider the adoption of the 2025-2026 budget. I will now invite our Finance Director, Jim Welch, to come up to the podium to present this item. And hopefully this answers a lot of questions.
Thank you, Mayor. I certainly hope to. Jim Welch, Finance Director for the city. This is a special meeting, as Nicole has mentioned, our city recorder. And this is, the date is actually chosen by the county so that this public hearing does not overlap with other entities that are also proposing property tax increases. So normally we would like to hold this a week earlier, but this one was chosen by them not to overlap that. So just a quick review of what the budget is. I'll try and go through this quickly. Most of the slides were covered in the public hearing, in the study session last week. But I'll also try and answer some of those questions that have come up, and then would certainly be willing to answer any questions that the public or you might have as you would ask me to address those. So let's take the next one. This is an overview of the total budget of the city. It's about $170 million. Most of the budget is encompassed in what's called the general fund, and that's where the general operations of the city fall. That would be your typical services like police, fire, public works, the administrative services. And then those that kind of comprise business type activities and also impact fees contain the rest of the budget. Let's go to the next one. Some things that drive the budget is by state law, we have to be fiscally responsible. There are parameters that the state gives us on what our reserves can be. They can't be too much, but they can't be too little. We have to provide a balanced budget. We have a moral obligation and a charged obligation to maintain the public infrastructure that we've been entrusted with. And then also the budget is impacted by the fiscal drivers of the economy. What's our local economy doing? What are the projections for where inflation is going to be? what are the uncertainties and how can we mitigate those? So we're adopting a budget now for fiscal year 2026, which goes through next June. So we're basically saying, what's the economy going to look like for the next year? It's kind of challenging. We do the best we can. We make conservative estimates. And because of that, it usually doesn't expose us to too much risk, but we try and manage that. We also put the budget together in a way that hopefully reflects the objectives and the direction of the city council. It also meets national standards of the Government Finance Officers Association and those standards also that the state has put out so that it's a document that provides transparency. It's a document that I'd like to say is easily readable, but that's a matter of discussion sometimes. We try and make it as clear as possible so that people can look it up and find out how the city is operated. And then because that, I talked a little bit about the general fund, I just wanted to outline how it falls out. Because we're a governmental entity, most of our revenues do come from taxes. About 69% is comprised of sales taxes and property taxes, and the remaining 31% comes from utility taxes and user fees. So that would be things like building permits. It also includes justice court fines, interest earnings, things like that. And then if we're planning on using reserves for capital improvements or projects that we've saved up for, this is where it's going to show up. The budget last year compared to this year, last year in 2025 was $114 million. This is the general fund budget, the operation portions. This year it's projected to be about 120. And then as far as the public hearing process, and maybe this will kind of answer some of those questions that came up with in the general comment period. This is the notice that was published in the newspaper, and I know a lot of people don't take the newspaper anymore, but that's still the method that the state says that we need to provide this information to our consumers. They dictate the font, they dictate the verbiage, they dictate the calculation. So this is not something we come up with ourselves. This is something that the state puts together. There's a property tax adjustment in the revenue, and they've determined that the average value of a home in West Valley City is approximately $450,000. This is something that the county does. The city doesn't determine that. And then if a person has a problem with that valuation of their home, for example, the lady that mentioned her home might be valued at less than what the county said, there's a procedure where you can go in and you can protest that value. You have to get some appraisals done, or at least you have to have documentation. It shows up on your property tax notice that you'll get here in the next couple of weeks if you haven't received it already. And there's a procedure in there where you can go in and protest this value. If they accept that value, your valuation will be reduced and your property tax bill will be decreased. A number of those things occur all the time. Part of this property tax adjustment includes what's called a judgment levy, and that's where businesses have done precisely that. They've gone in and they said, for a number of years or a period of time, you've been assessing us at too high of a rate. They make an appeal through the process. The court or the judgment through the Board of Appeals says, yep, that rate's going to be reduced. And they award a judgment which pulls the money back and reduces the bill to those people. So the operations change in West Valley City is $2.9 million. That represents about a 7.7% increase as calculated by the county in the West Valley City's portion of the property tax bill. That represents about a 1.7% change in the total property tax bill. And the judgment levy, which is the portion which is actually just is refunds to these businesses, is about $50,000, and that doesn't even really calculate to a percentage, so they didn't give us one on that. Okay. In 2024, there was a bill that passed Senate Bill 29, which requires us to disclose certain things during this public hearing. Sorry. One of those is the dollar amount and the use of the funds that will be raised by the property tax increase. In this particular increase, it's designated to go towards public safety services. And then the judgment levy is generated as a one-time and will not go forward. It's a one-time to cover those rebates. Okay. For people that are interested, we do have a page on our website that allows them to go in and put the value of their home in. If they estimate it, for example, in this one, it said $450,000. It gives an estimate of what their property tax bill might be. It also illustrates where your money goes. So for example, if your total tax bill, 22% of that bill is West Valley City's portion. And that property tax adjustment or increase that we are proposing is about 1.7 of the percentage of the total bill. Then the final disclosure that we're required to provide is a copy of the county's consolidated notice. I know that's really hard to read in this format, but this is a notice that the county puts together at the state's direction that includes all of the entities that are proposing property tax increases during this fiscal year, the amount of the increase, the percentage increase, and the date of their public hearing. And I think that concludes my presentation. And I turn it to the council.
Are there any questions from the council for Mr. Welch? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I will now open the public hearing. Is there anyone that would wish to speak to this issue? Ms. Jacobs, did you want to speak?
I have a couple questions. Do you want me to come up there?
Sure.
We obviously have a really diverse population. I live in a gated condo community that has a lot of different nationalities. I rather enjoy that. One of my questions and my issues is the burgeoning shielding of illegal aliens in this community and the increase of illegal aliens. My concern is having my tax dollars go to shield illegal aliens. And I look at the increase and my question is, of that increase, are we taking into consideration how many illegal aliens that this city is shielding? And my second question is, do you consider West Valley City a sanctuary city?
Okay, thank you. We'll have a member of staff answer that for you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Peely.
Can you hear me? Mary, yeah, as was presented earlier and throughout the discussions with our proposed tax increase, I mean, it's pretty straightforward as to what it's going to regarding public safety. And, you know, we just overall, we have increases that go up with just the cost of doing business with the city. You know, coming from a city right next to the border in Las Cruces, there were some questions about, you know, programming and things that went to those. So I'm very familiar with maybe some of the accusations that come to local governments. I can assure you that that's not here. I mean, in West Valley, that there's no programming that goes to shielding illegal immigration or for that matter. And then as far as the tax rate, the tax increase, I would like to maybe go through, I know there was this, I know that the comment earlier about the 62% increase, I would like to maybe clarify, just in case anybody else is seeing that number and maybe that, you know, it might cause some confusion there. And so I know Jim had a spreadsheet up there and I think he just kind of went through it, but maybe if we can just clarify for a little bit, and I'm not sure where the 62% is coming from, but and we probably would have to look through that, but maybe if we can just clarify.
Dollars a year to the current increase. And by my math, it was 62% higher. That's a big jump to come out of my small pocket.
Sure.
Okay, so Mr. Welch, did you want to address that?
Certainly, I can do that. And there's a, and that hurts. It's a big increase. And yeah, the dollar amount is correct. However, the change is due to a number of different things. One is the valuation of your property, which you'd mentioned. Values of properties have gone up. If you feel that that's incorrect, that appeals process is very effective. I've done that myself. I've gone in and said, hey, the notice that I've got is way more than what my house is worth. And so there's a process you can go through. You go out and you get copies of 3 properties that have already sold for less than that. You fill out a little sheet and a letter and you send it to the county, and the county looks at it. And if they like it, they'll reduce your rate. And I think that's a very valuable thing to do. As far as the property tax increases go, there's a number of entities that are also increasing their property tax rates. The school district has an amount that's going up. We have, I don't know if this would be germane that I can get into, but it might be interesting for this discussion. With the current property tax notice that you got, that consolidated list, for example, Granite School District, for the average resident will be going up about $100 this year. For the Canyon School District, it will be about $70. For Midvale City, $67. For Harriman City Safety Enforcement Area, $25. Now, I know that that people that live in West Valley City are not subject to all of those, but they accumulate over years. And if you don't keep a real good finger on what your property tax is doing, there's a possibility that you could be overtaxed. There's also a possibility that you could be undertaxed, which I've never had anybody go in and say, oh, you've got the amount wrong. But there's a process there, and the dollar amount I could certainly see could probably change by that over the years. But there's going to be a lot of factors that go into it. Probably more than likely, the majority of it is because of the valuation, as you had pointed out. And I would certainly protest that. And you have to do that with good, solid documentation.
Said to have it to them by September 15, which is a little late.
Yep, may have missed that one.
Meantime, I have to come up with extra
Okay.
money this year and ongoingly.
So any more questions for Mr. Welch? Okay.
I'll
Thank
just
you.
add, Mayor,
Huh?
one of your slides showed 2 charts. One shows West Valley City of 22%. And then it has an arrow that goes down to the breakdown of what that tax goes to. And I think that is fantastic. You could just have that one slide and I would be happy. Because this is what I would want to share with my constituents, is that West Valley is only 22% of your property tax. And this is exactly how it goes into funding our programs. And 35% of that is for fire or for police. 19% is for fire. And then you can go on and on and on. So that's your best slide, Jim. Good job.
This guy.
Yep.
That's available to anybody that wants to see that on our website. You go into the finance section, property taxes, and comes up there. Thank you.
Okay.
And then, Mayor, if you wanted me to address the sanctuary city question, I mean,
Okay.
I didn't know any one of us could hear. There's not from my understanding, there's been no action by the council in previous years identifying us as a sanctuary city or any ordinance in place that a resolution that's been passed. And I can assure you from staff, as your city manager, there's no policy that's been made to limit cooperation with any federal agency if they came and asked for our assistance. We're not actively going out. I've told my police officers we are not ICE, but we are not we're not a sanctuary city. So by policy, from what I understand, no resolution, nothing has been passed, or no direction has been given by council or mayor or by myself to limit cooperation in any way.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Welch, before you go too far, Ms. Martin, would you like to come back up and ask any more questions that Mr. Welch can answer?
It's that deadline, so I guess I'm in a hurry.
Okay,
Deadline September 15th.
so you have another month.
So you got another month.
Yes.
Problem.
Yeah.
Yep. It just helps if you come to the mic and not talk from the audience. That's why I was giving you another opportunity to come up and, add to your comments.
Said September 15 instead of August 15.
yes,
I have a very stressful job and I would like not to be able to work, but these situations are going to make me have to look for another job on what I've got in order to meet my ends, to meet my obligations. And I doubt that anyone has ever driven through our property to even consider evaluating it, or they'd know it isn't worth as much as they think it is. I mean, literally 2/3 of the fence around the property was falling down. It's now taken down because of the health hazards. But now we're going to have to get hit with the HOA fee to replace the fence. And we've got the tariffs hitting our groceries. I've got my utilities increasing their rates, their fees. My water bill, I use $1.85 worth of water, but I pay $25 or more to the water company. All fees. So these are eating us alive, and we're not going to be able to keep treading water. And I've been in that position 13 years ago. I'm fighting tooth and nail not to go back to facing homelessness. So, if there's any consideration you can give people like me, we would really appreciate it.
thank you.
There are some resources out there that are available. There's a circuit breaker program through the county that will help with people that are low income. And there are some other resources out there. I would encourage, if you haven't looked into those, maybe some of our citizens could look into those. And then also, if you've missed the deadline, I don't think it would be a problem at all, which we haven't yet. It would still be a good idea to get a hold of the county and talk to them. It should also be noted that it's the county that does every bit of that calculation. The city has no input on the value of your property or the assessment of that property.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think that's it. Was there anyone else that wished to speak? I saw Mr. Visock get up and then sit back down when the discussion started, so.
I was being polite, so.
Thank you.
None of us like paying property taxes. Over the last 5 years, West Valley City, other than the assessment, has not raised property taxes. I don't like that property taxes are being raised this year. But once again, like Jim said, it is the first top 4 of your bill is school districts and stuff that when you look at the amount West Valley City is raising, it's very, very little. What I talk to people, it's around $35 million, and I use 35 million because West Valley is 35 square miles. And I'll ask people, I was like, do you think you could manage 1 mile of West Valley City for $1 million? And when they start thinking about it, it's no. So I think when it comes to a budget, we are doing okay. Due to poor management from past city manager stuff, we have to start paying for things that weren't being paid for before, and upkeep on things that were deferred forever. And unfortunately, now under our new city manager, we have no choice to pay for it. Either we pay for it or we start shutting down all these buildings and stuff like that people like. So I'm not happy about property taxes going up, but unfortunately, that's what we have to do right now.
Okay, thank you. All right, so anyone else wish to speak? And we had no one online, correct? Okay, thank you. I will now close the public hearing and turn the time over to the council for discussion or a motion.
I move for approval of resolution or ordinance 25-107.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilmember Wood,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitstone,
Yes.
Councilmember Harmon,
Yes.
Councilmember Hune,
No.
Councilmember Christensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes by majority.
Thank you. Okay, we have no need for a closed session this evening, so we have one more action item.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We will see you next week, the 26th.